Candice Owens absolutely destroys this woke professor on Dr. Phil, coming with those facts, okay? You guys know how I love the facts, okay? Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're talking about race, so it's a sensitive topic, so viewer discretion is definitely advised on this one. Without further ado, let's rock!
Based on what I read, see in the media, talk to people about, this is a topic that almost everyone feels strongly about one way or the other. I want to hear what the audience has to say. Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, if you're white, someone can discriminate against you, but there's no systemic basis to it.
But if it's becoming part of the university admission process, if it's determining hiring practices, dismissal practices in industry, is that not systemic?
You could nitpick and find little instances on both sides. But I think if you look at it as a whole, then you begin to understand where it's coming from.
Who else has a comment? Yes, sir, in the back.
My name is Dan, and I think it's great that you try to fix some of the inequities that have happened in the past. But I don't think it should jump to the front of the line when you're going to college or you're trying to get a job. I think it's important that we address it very early on, where a lot of the major issues are happening in the families of some of the ones that are maybe disadvantaged, or if they're having trouble in school, it started at the elementary school level, where once they get to the admissions process or get to a job interview, it's based on your merit.
Candice, are we compromising standards
Yes.
if we do that because we haven't fixed the problem down the line?
That's correct. It is the policies are harmful also to the people that they purport to help. And we have all of the evidence there to look at. When you artificially place a Black American into a school in which they do not belong based on their knowledge, doesn't mean that they go on to get A's. In fact, there was a Black adjunct professor, you guys have definitely heard of him, Dr. Thomas Sowell, who was teaching at Cornell University, and he found that the majority of the Black American students that were there were on academic probation. Now, these students were some of the smartest in the nation, but because they were artificially placed amongst their peers at Cornell University, they were failing on academic probation. These policies have never helped Black Americans. It's just basically policies that are put in place to make people feel good, right? I feel like I'm doing something when in fact I'm actually creating harm. You either know.
I want to speak to that. I'm going to keep letting Candice cook, but I want to speak to that real quick because I 100% agree. And not only do I agree, I actually have a situation where I could actually attest, not myself, but somebody I know that was going to a different school, right? Predominantly African American, and was getting straight A's, was doing really, really well. And then he went to a different school, a private school, which is more predominantly white, this one, and his grades didn't do as good. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm not trying to put it on race. That does not mean just it's about the color of your skin or anything like that. But, you know, I will attest that one of the reasons, and I think especially in our community, first of all, our schools have to get better, like 1000%, right? Do I feel that we should be going to different communities to go to better schools? Of course not, right? But you know, there's a lot to be said there. Again, this is a sensitive topic, and again, that does not just mean that he could have been hanging around the wrong people why his grades dropped. There's a lot of other reasons why, but I mean, come on. Well, I mean, was it a coincidence? Probably not. Back to the video.
The answers are you don't.
When you say, hey, we have Black students at a particular school who aren't performing at that school as well, the immediate assumption that you're making is, well, maybe it's because they're not smart enough, they're not good enough, or they don't belong here. Whereas it could be about the experience that they're having at that institution. Professors who believe that they're not intelligent enough, that they don't have the capability to do the work, that they see them as criminals, deviants, dangerous, up to no good, or they talk about them with the they statements. They're lazy, they don't care, they don't really belong here. They're only here for the financial aid.
I'm giving you actual facts.
No,
right?
I'm giving you actual facts based upon extensive
say, well, maybe they
research
just
that's
don't
been
feel
done.
good. But that's not the case. I mean, I went to university. I did not feel good, right? I didn't pull the best grades in high school, probably got into a better university than I should have gotten into based on my performance in high school. It wasn't because of my feelings. It's because I wasn't focused on it. And that, we're talking about a cultural problem, what's going on back at home, as was in my circumstance. And none of that is because of institutionalized policy. It almost seems like you guys refuse to accept that, you know, Black students aren't performing well. You feel like you have to have this burden of responsibility when, in fact, if you actually wanted to help, you would look at the facts, re-examine the fact that it's not helping anybody, it's not helping Black Americans to artificially place them into universities, and you'd make effective change.
But you're making the assumption that Black students are academically inferior, and they're not.
No,
They're
you
some of
are
our most
actually.
brilliant
That's
students
that's
that we
the
have.
basic. No. That you are making the assumption that they are inferior.
You
It
just
is
said that
why
they
you
don't
want
belong there.
policy.
Bro, are your ears open? Candice is that's not what Candice is saying. Your ears may not be open. Because, brother, or is it just me? Back to the video.
I'm talking about the students that are based on the policies that you are defending right now, saying that we should have these policies that let them into these universities, not based on their skill set, but based on the color of their skin. So you are assuming that they are inferior.
Do you have a story or
All right. Okay, guys. So you know I'm about to go in on this one. First of all, so what Candice spoke about, which I really agree with, is the pressure. She mentioned the pressure, right? So, for example, the story that I told you with the person that I know that switched schools, right? You know, there's no doubt in my mind that he was dealing with definitely more pressure, right? Now, it's hard to tell because at the time, you know, we're talking about high school, so you know, you got colleges coming up. So again, there's so many factors here, right, that they didn't discuss because this is a short video, right? So there's so many factors that, you know, did not get discussed. But personally, me, I feel that, you know, right now our school systems are failing us, period. So I mean, whether it's you're in a predominantly Black area, predominantly white area, the conclusion is America as a whole school system. I don't care if you're in public school, private school, or whatever school you're in. The education is nothing compared to you know, places like Japan, places like all these other, you know, China, all these other up and coming places that are very, very bright and top of the class, right? So, you know, that's my personal opinion. We have to do a lot better. Hopefully, this next administration could improve the school system. Okay. And then also not focus. What they didn't discuss too is they didn't really discuss the curriculum, which I think Dr. Phil, I think he pointed out in the beginning, which is like in the beginning in terms of like kindergarten, first grade, like the youngins, right? Like teaching them, making sure we instill the right things and just with them. And anyway, that's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I am very curious. Again, I know this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but you know, personally me, this is just my opinion. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hear what you guys say. Make sure you kick the like button, slap the subscribe button for more. Until next time, peace.